Greetings, my name is Sumitiper and welcome to ACERVO Season 3 Episode 7, Nightmares. Bound in a room of darkness, the meek man looks around to calculate ways of escaping. The dark impedes his wishes to be free, as nothing can be perceived and no shape is visible, just utter and complete darkness. The sense of hearing refuses to help, as the faintest of white noise is the only thing present in this space. No smell, no taste, not even the ability to feel touch, as the numb body feels like wanting to let the mind go, but yet unable to do so. The mumbles of the mind are plenty but quiet, just loud enough so that some words can be caught, but when focusing on a specific voice, it becomes completely silent. Mumbles get louder and quieter at random without any rhythm or metric guiding them. The meek man weeps for a brief second before being rudely interrupted by a current through his numb body. Faint vibrations give way to pain as the man grunts and tries to call for help. The mumbling voices laugh in unison, a loud laugh getting louder. Fearing deafness, the man tries to jolt himself to make them stop, and they comply. The man feels himself falling through an abyss of darkness. No one available to even hear his calls. The speed keeps increasing and disorientation grows stronger each second. Small fragments brush against his body, the friction aggravating the pain. More and more fragments hit, each bigger than the previous ones. They started small as singular grains of sand, and now were the size of rocks and soon boulders. They teared away at the man's body, leaving deep tears, bones and muscle exposed, ready to be filled to the brim with deadly infection. Unable to utter anything, the man had reached the floor, or at least what he assumed to be the floor, and attempted to stand up. The immense pain caused the most horrid scream to come out of the man's mouth, and led him to fall down to his knees. The second attempt was just as painful as the last, with a painful howl coming out of the man's mouth. Resigning himself to his inability to walk, the meek man crawled along the floor. Small bugs bit, and rusty nails poked, though the man hardly felt them, with the pain he continuously endured since his fall keeping all other forms of pain away. Having crawled for a long time, the man realized that some sounds had reappeared. Strange growls, distant sirens, and unknown animals were heard far away. The one singular sound that caught his attention was that of a metallic object hitting the floor. Curious at what it was, the man reached to grab the object. As he grasped that metal firmly, the man felt intense burning and jolted upwards with his hand to protect the burn. In the jump, a large container tipped, delivering boiling liquid to the arm that had not yet been burned. The screams were the loudest this time, filling the whole air with an echo. He cried deeply while cowering in a fetal position, awaiting a miracle to happen so that he may be able to stop all of this pain he had been suddenly inflicted with. Begging for God to kill him did nothing, and the man knew that there was no one coming to save him. The sense of smell came back to him, and he soon noticed the putrid stench of all things rotting. The air became dense and humid, with no spots untouched by the awful smell. The man wanted to flee far away. The journey of his continued crawl only amplified his pain. Being unable to use his hands, the man stood on his side, using one leg to move forward and the other to provide stability. As the man continued to crawl, he felt a punch in his stomach and got temporarily unconscious. The meek man was being dragged by something, the sharp stench of a spicy poison filling his every orifice. In no place he was pain-free. The man was in misery. Disoriented once again, he found himself tied to a chair. The sound of a rusty mechanism revving up worried him severely. He begged for the unknown being to stop. He begged for his torture to end. He begged for death to give him her sweet kiss. He moved as most as he could, trying and trying to break himself free, but to no use. And just as the terrible sounds of the mice approached his face, the man managed to free his arm to cover himself. With a swift move, the stranger had cut his arm off. Feeling the most intense pain he had ever felt, and the brush of his hand against his legs, the man let out the loudest scream ever produced by a living being in history. As his lungs collapsed, he jolted upwards. Upon opening his eyes, the meek man found himself in a bedroom. His bedroom. There was no threat to him, and despite how it felt all too real, it had been nothing more than a nightmare. I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Sumitiper, and thank you so much for watching.